I apologize, I come in late, so somebody, if it's reiterating. Addressing what Kathy brought up. If we were paying for 2 million gallons of water and only billing out 1 million, in an audit, wouldn't that be a huge red flag, a deficit like that, a problem? Wouldn't that be something that would stand out to you that you would be aware of?
Not necessarily.
Really?
Not necessarily.
Why is that?
No, and I can't comment because I don't have a work papers in front of us. So it's something I could look at, and what we would do is put that to the supervisor who would provide that information to you at another meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, would be a very important thing, that should jump out, that should be a huge red flag, so.
Mr. Cipher, we have a huge water leak, we know it. We've actually had, one of the major repairs was made this week. We do know there's significant water loss. It's an operational cost. It's, we know it.
It's not unlike other places that we got it. Most of the time it's what they call an inflow and infiltration problem, is where the storm water.
That would be your sewer system. This is the drinking water system. We have a sewer system and a water, we buy our water from the city of Wheeling, and we have a pipe connected to their system, Ohio County system. And we have, our system was put in 1980, your water system, and we've got a large amount of leaks in it. And we're attacking them, this week we did a major repair out on this end of town. So we're hoping to get those numbers down to where it's in acceptable range.
And to bill less than what you're paying for, that's a natural result of having a leak. I mean, you aren't gonna bill the residents that extra amount. I mean, because how would you determine who gets that bill?
But the township currently pays for it.
Well, right, but I mean, what are they supposed to do?
As soon as they realized there was a problem, look for a leak.
It's not an accounting question, though.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
These extra, you want to keep these?
Yes, those are, yeah, those are.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Rosella Ely, use of the basement room.
Grace and peace to you in the name of the one who was, who is, and still to come. Gentlemen, at this time, I would like to thank you for your generosity in allowing the Encore Kids of Grace to reside here at the Community Center down in the former boys' locker room. For a brief background, the Encore Kids of Grace is a satellite of the Eastbrook Mission Barn, which is an outreach ministry of the United Methodist Church. It has an impact both locally, internationally, and nationally. This year alone, we have sent to the Eastbrook Mission Barn 72 flood buckets or cleaning buckets, 120 health kits, 46 school kits, 6 sewing kits, 6 birthing kits, 6 bedding kits, for a total of 310 kits this year alone sent for verification. With that said, we took inventory of 100 buckets and 108 health kits. Of that, 51 buckets and 36 healthcare kits were distributed right here in southwestern Pennsylvania. The remaining 49 buckets and 72 health kits were sent to Texas to help with the cleanup of Hurricane Harvey. The decision to pull out of here was not one that was made lightly, but in reviewing and looking at the ethical standards of the candidates for supervisor this fall, we realized that their standards did not match that of a ministry. The bullying, the lying, the manipulation of the truth, the stalking, the ridicule, the mocking was not something that we could support as a ministry. And for example, I would take the fact that people felt free to drive back and forth my farm, taking pictures because they could, while my daughters were walking their animals for no reason other than they simply could. Again, this is not all the candidates. This is some of them. The name calling of emperor, tyrant, prince, stupidvisors, I found to be very disrespectful. To have someone hospitalized with chest pains and be saying, no, that was in chest pains, but that was your conscience talking, I found to be absurd. Why would you do that? On top of that, our fire department this year had a festival during 4th of July. And during that, on the Facebook page that is supported by some of these candidates, It was insulting, what was being said. And there was no action taken to support, at the time, the fire department. These are men and women who put their lives on hold to answer a whistle. These are men and women who will put their lives on the line to help a neighbor in need. But to take credit now or to say, to do by word, deed, or action to support them is irrelevant because it should have been done then. I'm sure the fire department would appreciate it, but it really should have been done then in honor and respect of what you do for us as a community. Supervisors, again, I thank you for the opportunity to allow us to be here. It was greatly appreciated. It was and will continue to be appreciated. This impact, this ministry, though small, is mighty, and we thank you for your support.
Departmental reports, road department, Ed.
We've been ditching, we're about done ditching on this side of the township. We've got Kennedy Hill, Waynesburg, Tunnel Street, compressor station, and we'll have the ditching done on this side. 80 loader just got back up and running today. It was down for about 2.5 weeks, waiting on parts. Broom, everybody, where we ditch, everybody's complaining about the dirt left on the road. We don't have a broom to sweep it off. I talked to Dave about it, he said get prices, I got prices on a broom. The contractor's connection was $6,898. US Municipal was $6,485.
And there's no pull behinds or
This is a skid loader mounted angle
skid loader
brake.
mount.
And drop tractor came in at $5,094. The loop got paved. Nathan Vortek and the engineer was supposed to be out at 3 o'clock today to look at the berming of it and give me, we had a lot of complaints on the steep edges, the deep ditches. They're gonna give me a report on what they recommend that we put in there to get rid of that.
Before you move on, there's been some chatter about the loop paving. Whose project was that?
That was a block grant. I guess they call it HUD or something like that.
It was a bid awarded by,
Been awarded by Nathan Vortek, I guess the county.
and how did it determine where it started and stopped? Went as far as the money went, right?
No, it's the loop.
I'm saying that it went as far as that, they paved whatever they allotted us,
Yeah.
fund-wise.
Yeah, they went around the loop and they determined that they had enough money to do the loop on the block grant, is what they said. We tried Poplar, Alexandra, we didn't get no replies back. You have to do a financial report or income of the households. We didn't get enough reports back on them 2 streets. And the loop is the only one that they got all the households, so that was the one that got chosen to do this. And that was through the county. We really didn't have much say in it. They had their own engineers, they got their own, they do their own bidding. All we do is take the applications around and see who gets the grant. And Nathan said that when I talked to him about the berms, he said they take care of the paving, the municipality usually takes care of the berms, but they was gonna look at them today. So I should hear something back from that tomorrow. And they are steep, and I know there's some elderly people that live up there, and one called about getting her mail, it's so steep that, and I told her as soon as we hear something, we'll be on.
If I'm not misspeaking, those projects are determined upon a rating system based upon level of income of the residents that are
Yes,
on
and
that
that
street.
block.
It's income based.
Yes.
We do need to get something in there on those berms. I was up and looked at it. Some places that they're pretty high.
When I was out there with the engineer, we had a complaint about a driveway pipe from a neighbor. I told Sharon about it. She notified the owner of the driveway. He responded back with this wanting me to write him a letter and a citation and all this stuff. Driveway pipes are to be maintained by the resident, not the township. It's running water out onto the road, across the road, and down to his neighbors. I talked to Gary's office about it. He said, see if the two neighbors can settle it. If they can't settle it, then the township can get involved.
We got a grader, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ken and Zappy down on Buck Run is gonna build a house. He had a power plant or a power line map. I went down and met with him this morning. He's gonna set one pole about a quarter of the way off of 231 up Buck Run, and then everything's underground from there to his house up, which he's using the range access road. That was part of the range deal when they leased that property, that he doesn't have to have a driveway permit or anything. And the house will actually sit in Plain Township. We got 2 catch basins and a pipe, about 100 feet of pipe to install on petroleum, Gashel. Everything's there, we're just waiting on one call to clear to get started on that. Some guide rail came up missing off of Compressor Station Road on the right side. It was completely taken out. That was another complaint.
How do we handle that, Michael?
If the guy was taken, was it not
They
due
did
to an
some,
accident,
they
like
was
someone
moved-
just
they was doing
removed
some dirt work in there and they took the guide rail out.
it? When you say they, are you talking an operator?
Operator, homeowner, I don't know.
Okay, I guess you have to have the police look into that for now.
Don, you got that?
I'll see it tomorrow.
Okay.
The parking up here on Main Street was another complaint. People can't get their trailers when they go up the hill, they can't turn because the car's parked on the right side and they're blocking the intersection and they don't have nowhere to go because the trailer's behind them and the cars keep coming. I talked to PennDOT, sent me to another department of PennDOT, sent me to the state police. State police said it's up to the board about the parking up on Main Street.
What do you need to do, pull the parking back from that corner? Is that what you need to do?
I say remove it, they're parked in a lane of traffic.
So I'm saying remove it with putting a new parking sign.
Yeah, put no parking along there, they all got driveways.
Where is this place?
You go up here, top of the hill, make a left on Main.
Okay.
A lot of those are apartments, the people are parking across the street, they don't have driveways.
Everybody on the right side has a driveway and
Right,
there's no
but
cars
everybody on
parked
the
down.
left has to park over there.
Well, it's like I told the state police officer, and this was a comment brought up to me. I can't park on Route 40. And that's a 2-lane state road, why should you be able to park on it? School buses are coming through
It's
there, they have to
messing
stop.
around with school buses.
Can you just put signs up saying no parking from here to corner or something like that? You know what I mean?
I don't follow.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's one sitting right up here coming down Liberty, the car's always sitting right there by the no parking sign. They park right beside it.
There is a short distance along the right side of the road, there's no parking up there.
He's right there, there's cars that park in that.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is, it's a 2-lane road. There's no berm, there's no side on it. This has actually come up in these meetings before. It's up to the township to restrict the parking there, though.
Somebody, it doesn't matter who it was, yeah, someone got about hit me because he come around way on this side of it.
One day I went up through there, I was hauling some cattle, and I went up through there, and there was, all the way along the right side, clear onto the sharp turn, there was a white passenger van sitting there right on the turn, and you don't have no room. And I'm gonna tell you something, if you go up through there and you make that left-hand turn, you're across the double line. And if somebody comes around and hits you, it's your fault.
There used to be a restriction on that turn. Somebody took the parking signs down. There was a no parking sign from down where that apartment is, where the Mexican guys live, clear up around to almost to Grace.
Right.
That was all restricted, but some of the signs are gone.
I put it on the agenda for motion.
And mesh the hell out of it. You can't see that.
And the co-op contacted me today. Each township is putting $1,000 into the co-op fund.
On the agenda.
Oh, it is. I didn't know they called down there, they just stopped and told me.
And they sent us a bill.
That's all I have.
Okay. Fire Department, Eric?
Good evening. In the month of August, fire department responded to 11 EMS calls, 20 fire calls, for a total of 31 calls. 11 times we provided mutual aid to another department, 5 times we received mutual aid. Our average dispatch to arrival time for August was 7 minutes 15 seconds, and the average dispatch to en route was 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Our average time on scene was almost 76 minutes. Of those 31 responses, we had 1 building fire, 1 malfunction for a heating unit, 2 passenger vehicle fires, 5 EMS calls excluding vehicle crashes, 4 crashes with injuries, 2 crashes with no injuries, 4 hazardous conditions, 1 hazardous material spill, 1 power line down, 4 times assisting police or governmental agency, 2 assignments, cover assignments or standbys, 2 times we're dispatching canceled, and 2 false alarms. On those 31, or including those 31 calls for service, we had 2 trainings, 8 work details, 2 meetings, and we expended 603 man hours in the month of August. 2 other things. First, I think you guys are aware that we had a problem with your tar and chipping crew on our new concrete. They've damaged, best we can figure square footage, about half of our apron in front of our building. Eddie had been taking care of dealing with them and the company. Eddie contacted 3 contractors about solutions for that problem. The contractor also contacted 3 companies about solutions for that. And the bottom line is it's either put up with it or replace it. We got nearly $30,000 into the apron out there. So as best we can figure, we got about $15,000 of it damaged. The company seemed like, what's the name of the company? The tar and chipping company?
Midland.
Midland seemed like they were gonna be very cooperative in coming to a solution. At least that's what they said several times. It seemed like they were doing the right things. Last week that took a turn. They turned it over to their subcontractor who hauled the stone. They don't really wanna fix it. So now it's turned over to the insurance company for them. We're kinda gonna see where that goes, but, just wanna make sure you guys are aware of where that stood. The other thing I have is, as you know, 3 years ago, we contracted a billing company and started billing for services on trash scenes and vehicle fires. And for anybody in here who's not aware of that, what this billing company does is sends bills to insurance companies that people. This is done basically because about 32% of our call volume is on the interstate system. It's a transient population. We don't feel that the residents of Donegal Township should be paying to protect those people, that they should have a hand in paying for the problems they cause. So we started billing. Now, residents of Donegal Township, while they'll go ahead and bill their insurance, and if there's coverage on their insurance, if they're involved in it, obviously we'll take that money. If they don't have coverage, we don't bill those residents directly. Hopefully they're already making a donation or coming to some of our events and spend their money there. Now, people who don't live within Donegal Township or out of state, then if their insurance doesn't have coverage, they receive a bill directly, and the company eventually goes to collections of them covered. Like I said, it was like 3 years ago, you guys passed an ordinance for us to be able to start the billing process, and as part of that ordinance, there was a fee schedule. In the initial ordinance, there was no mechanism to raise the fees, depending on cost of living or what increases on costs come. So what we have now is a new resolution, I guess, not an ordinance or a resolution, that I'd like to pass along, that includes the verbiage for increases, and I don't remember what it's based on 2 different things, depending on which is the lower amount, I think, whatever it is.
Eric, do you know if that fee schedule is hardwired into the ordinance, or is it?
Yes, it is.
Or is it set by resolution?
It's part of the resolution.
Then, okay, if you got a,
I do.
is it a resolution or an ordinance?
I'm sorry, it is a resolution.
Okay. Right.
This would be the current one that
Yeah.
also includes the fee schedule, but it explains on how it would make those increases depending on what the value is of the services as the years go on. So I would make a request to you guys, take a look at that and urge you guys, unless there's some kind of problems, let me know, we can get them
We'll
solved.
look at this and have this next meeting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else in the fire department?
That's all I have.
How about fire marshal?
I have nothing to offer there.
Okay. Water and sewage.
John Forrest has repaired the water leak on Liberty Road. A fairly significant leak. We don't know what kind of impact it's gonna have on the water usage yet. They've been reading the meters on the master meter on a daily basis, so we'll show an idea very soon. The pump station on Tunnel Street is temporarily repaired with a pump and an auxiliary pump brought in. The pump costs us about $1,000 a week. If we didn't rent that pump, we'd have to have the tank pumped out every day, and we had to have that done for several days. And my understanding was costing us $1,000 a day to pump. So, the water and sewer is, that's basically all I can tell you about it right now. That's I guess the plant, he did tell us the plant is operating at about 65% capacity, sewer plant.
Code enforcement, John?
Yes, sir. Let me get to that section. Code enforcement. Since the last meeting, the police department has been working with property owners to resolve ordinance violations on seven separate properties. Of those 7 properties, let's see, 3 of those investigations have been closed by compliance. We're waiting on a property owner on one property, and 2 letters have been sent, one's in the process of being sent to the remainders, as we haven't been able to have conversation with them
You
to.
said 2 complied or 3?
3 complied.
Okay,
1, 2, 3. 3 complied.
thank you.
That's what we have for that.
Okay. Engineer Borden?
Thank you. Just 2 items to report on. At the bid opening for the municipal building, we indicated we'd go back and check references for the apparent low bidder, which was Blair Construction from Hamilton, PA. And I apologize, I got a terrible head cold here, but he listed 4 references. Myers Well Service, he did a 50 by 100 pole building, and Jace Myers indicated that it was a top-notch, very good job, and Josh Blair is a pretty good guy. The second one was Dennis Kiesecker with Steel Valley School District, and they did a steel building about 3 years ago. He indicated they did a good job and was really proud of their work. And also, the third reference was from Senate Engineering Company. I didn't realize that they did a salt storage building for one of our clients, West Katanning Borough in Armstrong County, a few years ago. And I went to that engineer, project manager, and he indicated that there were no issues, and he thought they did a pretty good job. The fourth reference was PennDOT, and that individual said he hadn't worked with them in years, so he couldn't give a reference. We did send based on that information, we did send a letter to the supervisors that you have. I'll read that letter. Dear supervisors, we have reviewed and tabulated the bids received on August 31st for the above referenced project. The apparent low bidder is Blair Construction from Emlenton, PA, for the total bid amount of $267,000. Based on Center Engineering's past experience with Blair Construction on similar projects and information obtained from the references, it is our opinion that they are capable of satisfactorily completing this project. Also, the bid amount is consistent with the engineer's estimate, therefore we recommend award at your earliest convenience. So it's at the supervisor's discretion if they'd like to award that bid tonight.
We have it on the agenda.
Yeah, okay. The second item is we're done with the specifications for the gym roof replacement. Again, two options, shingles and metal roof, and we'll need authorization to advertise for that bid opening.
Can we have it done?
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have anything else for me?
No, thank you.
Can I go home?
Yep.
You and your germs.
I tried to sit away from everybody.
Thank you for that.
Michael?
Couple items, you'll have in there the Range Resources escrow agreement, it's on the motion. If you recall, that was the matter involving road bonding, and we met with representatives of Range Resources along with Ed, discussed the matter, came up with an agreement that in lieu of them having to post individual bonds for each road, and then when those are done, having to release those and trying to clear up all that, the administrative aspect of that, they will just always have on file with the township while they're operating here an escrow for $5,000 that can be used by the township road department in the event that there are minor issues, potholes or little work that needs to be done, and it can be taken out of that, and then they'll have to keep that, they'll have to refill it back up to 5,000 at a time. You have that agreement in front of you, and the escrow should be, if it's not here now, it should be coming within the next week or so. And then an item related to litigation that I think that we'll be talking about more so in executive session. Those are the two main issues from our office.
Okay. Planning Commission, Lee?
We approved the Boone subdivision and sent it on to you guys for further approval. Also, we began work on the township land subdivision ordinance, and we're going to continue to review that in our next meeting. At present, we have nothing else to look at the next planning commission meeting other than that.
Police Department, John?
Yes, sir. For the month of August, we responded to 147 calls for service. We initiated 11 criminal investigations to include 1 simple assault, 2 harassments, 1 rape, 1 receiving stolen property, 1 sexual assault, 1 suspicious theft, a theft, and 3 criminal mischiefs. Property loss for the month, as reported, was only $51. Property recovered for the month was $2,500, but that was due to a theft from another jurisdiction. We recovered the property here. In August, officers conducted 37 traffic stops and investigated 4 traffic accidents. We issued 30 traffic citations, 2 non-traffic citations, and filed 3 criminal complaints. Officers patrolled approximately 4,233 miles and used approximately 354 gallons in gas in combination with our contracts. Last month, we did not have the numbers from the magistrates for the fines collected. You'll see those reflected in this month's report along with the fines for August as well. We've done the code enforcement. Attached, you'll find copies of the Buffalo and Claysville report for your review. We're currently negotiating with Claysville Borough for their contracting with police services in 2018, and we are looking right now at a year-to-year contract. 7332 scheduled for repair for both damages, supposedly beginning October 2nd at Frank's Auto in Taylorstown. And as per the June 2017 meeting, you guys instructed me to look for and hire another officer to help with the additional workload of code enforcement. I selected an officer, Bradley Miller. And you guys, I mean, I understand the financial constraints, but it's for your consideration. Miller has passed the appropriate background checks, currently employed with Cumberland Township, PA Police Department. He has local ties. He is current as Act 120 certification and will only need to pass his current department training before being able to put on a schedule. And that's it.
What do you do about part-time police officer?
Well, I was gonna add, see if we could, make that an addition to the agenda, make a motion to
That's
hire
fine.
him
That's fine.
for a couple of reasons.
That's fine.
Okay.
Adam, you out there?
Yeah, I'm right, sir.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's been accusations made by the Freedom Group that the supervisors basically had the police target some of them in township residents. Has myself or Doug or Zach ever instructed you to target any of the Freedom Group or anybody at all?
No, sir. No one, no supervisor nor any boss or township employee has ever asked that.
Thank you. Office and fiscal reports, Doug?
Not much to report. We're still learning the ropes of the office. And then I want to note is the general fund, as of tonight, is about $84,000. Not good. So, that's all I have to report.
Could you repeat that, please?
I said the budget is low. We're out of general fund money.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. Thank you.
Public comment on items on the agenda. Good, Kathy.
On this range, road bond, is 5,000 really enough?